Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. In this video we are going to look about the cartilages of the larynx. First let us know how many cartilages does the larynx constitute. So the larynx totally constitute 9 cartilages, out of which 3 are paired and 3 are unpaired. First I am going to mention the unpaired cartilages. So here you can see this is the thyroid cartilage, which is an unpaired cartilage, then cricoid cartilage, and then epiglottis. So these 3 cartilages are unpaired cartilages. Then paired cartilages are also 3 in number. So here you can see the arytenoid cartilage, the cuneiform cartilage, and the carniculate cartilage. So these 3 cartilages are paired. So you can see on right there is one arytenoid cartilage and on left there is one arytenoid cartilage. Then this is the carniculate cartilage. You can see the right and left, and this is the cuneiform cartilage. You can appreciate the right and left cuneiform cartilages. So these 3 cartilages are the paired cartilages. Now I am going to explain about the thyroid cartilage in detail. You can see here thyroid cartilage is V-shaped in cross section. So here you can see, you can note the V shape of the thyroid cartilage in its cross section. So again I am making the cross section so that you can see that. So you can appreciate the V shape of the thyroid cartilage. Coming to its next feature, the lamina. So the thyroid cartilage contains 2 laminae. One is the right lamina, and then the left lamina. Both the laminae fuse together at its anterior border. So you can see this is the midline where the anterior borders of both the laminae fuse together. So the laminae are roughly quadrangular in shape and they are placed obliquely with respect to the midline. You can appreciate the obliqueness of the lamina with respect to the midline. Then coming to the borders. So the anterior borders, they fuse together. Here you can see the anterior borders of the right and left laminae, they fuse, and at its lower portion it forms a prominence, and this prominence is called as the laryngeal prominence. Coming to its posterior border, so you can see the posterior border of the thyroid cartilage, they are free and they do not fuse with each other. The posterior border does not fuse, but it prolongs upwards and downwards to form the superior cornua or horn and inferior cornua or horn. So another important thing I would like to mention is the anterior borders of both the lamina, they fuse together at the midline by approaching each other at an angle of about 90 degree in male and 120 degree in the female. So I will show how it makes angle. So they fuse with each other by approaching with each other at an angle of about 90 degree in males and 120 degree in females. This is how they make the angle. As I already said, the lower part of the anterior border, it forms the laryngeal prominence. What about the upper part of the anterior border? So the upper part of the anterior border, they do not meet with each other. They are separated by a thyroid notch. So this part is the thyroid notch. So this depression or this fossa, this is called the thyroid notch. So the upper part of the anterior borders, they do not meet with each other. Rather, they are separated by a thyroid notch. Again, coming to the posterior border. What about the superior carnova and inferior carnova where they are attached? I'll mention that. So see, this is the superior carnova. So it is attached with the hyoid bone. This superior carnova of the thyroid cartilage, and we can see it clearly. So this superior carnova of the thyroid cartilage, it is attached with the greater carnova of the hyoid bone through a ligament, and that ligament is called as the lateral thyrohyoid ligament. So this is the lateral thyrohyoid ligament through which the superior carnova of the thyroid cartilage is attached with the greater carnova of the hyoid bone. So you can see here, this is the lateral thyrohyoid ligament. Then what about the inferior carnova? So it articulates with the cricoid cartilage to form the cricothyroid joint. Here you can see. So this inferior carnova of the thyroid cartilage, it articulates with the cricoid cartilage to form the cricothyroid joint. Now coming to the inferior border of the thyroid cartilage. The inferior border is convex from outwards. I mean that in the frontal view, it is convex. So you can appreciate the convexity of the inferior border here. The inferior border of the thyroid cartilage. But when looking from behind, it is concave. Hope you can appreciate the concavity of the inferior border. Another important feature of the inferior border, so it is connected with the cricoid cartilage by means of conus elasticus. That is, the conus elasticus gets inserted in the inferior border of the thyroid cartilage, and that too on the median plane. You can see this is the conus elasticus. Now I am going to remove some structures so that you can easily appreciate the conus elasticus. So this is the conus elasticus. You can see how it is attached to the inferior border of the thyroid cartilage. So the next feature of the thyroid cartilage is the oblique line. So here you can see the oblique line extending from the superior thyroid tubercle to that of the inferior thyroid tubercle. The oblique line is much more important because some muscles gets attached to the oblique line. Now let us see what are all the muscles attached to the oblique line of the thyroid cartilage. The first muscle we are going to look through is the thyroid muscle. Here you can see the muscle. So it is attached to the hyoid bone and here to the oblique line of the thyroid cartilage. Separate videos are posted regarding the origin and insertion of these muscles, the suprahyoid and the infrahyoid muscles. You can check out my channel for that. Here you can see the sternothyroid muscle. It also gets attached to the oblique line. And the last muscle that gets attached to the oblique line is the thyropharyngeus part of the inferior constrictor muscle. You can see this is the thyropharyngeus and this is the cricopharyngeus. The thyropharyngeus part of the inferior constrictor muscle gets attached to the oblique line of the thyroid cartilage. Coming to the next feature, the lower border and the inferior carnova. You can see here this is the lower border and this is the inferior carnova. They both give attachment to the lateral cricothyroid ligament. So now we are going to see what are all the muscles or structures that are attached to the thyroid cartilage on its inner aspect. So the first muscle we are going to look through is the thyroepiglottic part of thyroepiglottic muscle. So you can see how it is attached to the thyroid cartilage. The next is thyroarytenoid muscle. It connects the arytenoid cartilage to that of the thyroid cartilage, and the median thyroepiglottic ligament. So these are all the structures that are located on the inner aspect of the thyroid cartilage. Not only located, they are also attached to the inner aspect of the thyroid cartilage. So I'm going to cover this fully. So you can see how the muscles are attached and how they lie inside the thyroid cartilage. So hope you liked this video. Do subscribe and stay in touch.